So, my husband and I are $60,000 in debt. Okay.
Part of the problem. You are.
Let me explain how we got here. In June of 2022, we had a good amount of savings and decided that our home that we've been living in for a couple years just needed some maintenance and some upgrades. You can see behind me, we live in like a very normal house, but there were some things like on the outside where our stucco was falling off, so we needed to have that repaired. We had our house painted, we upgraded our bathroom a little bit, and also decided to pay off my husband's private student loan because the interest is not great. And so we had plenty of savings and we decided to just drain those bad boys. We both had really stable jobs. We would be able to squirrel away some money over time and build back up our savings again. 2 weeks later, unexpectedly, I was laid off from my job. And I'm the breadwinner of our household, so it did not go well. I was unemployed for about 7 months. Thank goodness I had social media to keep us afloat for a little bit, but here's the deal. We had to put a lot of stuff on credit card to be able to keep ourselves afloat. So anything that could go on a credit card went on a credit card. And that allowed my husband's income to pay for our mortgage, our car payments, our daycare, things like that. But everything else went on a credit card. We cut back as much as we could, but there's still a lot of expenses. We finally decided to do a debt consolidation loan, and it's about $65,000. And we're gonna try and pay it off. We did a 5-year loan plan, but we're gonna try and pay it off in the next 2 years if I can finally get that OnlyFans account going. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna do OnlyFans, but that's our goal. Our kids gets out of daycare this year. We've spent $36,000 a year on daycare, so one of them graduates this year, the other one goes to VPK, so that'll save us a little bit of money. Our hopes are that we're able to put a lot of what we were already paying for daycare towards this loan and get it paid off sooner than planned. But your girl loves to shop, so I'm gonna have to do some shit to keep myself accountable to this. So I'm coming on the internet and telling you what my deepest, darkest secret. Where are you going? Oh. Bye. Buying a puppy when you're in $60,000 of credit card debt is not a good idea. I'm just saying that.
Americans are digging themselves into a deep financial hole approaching $1 trillion in credit card debt. The nation's record high credit card debt now stands at nearly $988 billion. That's around $5,700 per person. Those between 40 and 49 years old have the most debt among all age brackets, with about $7,600 on their cards. High interest rates and inflation are adding to the problem.
I'm asking where this $5,000 came from that you put towards this card, please.
From the $20,000 personal loan, $20,000 personal loan. Yeah.
Is there interest accruing on the $20,000 personal loan?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And you put money from a accruing personal loan to a 0% card? In what mathematical way does that ever make sense? It was just 0%, and
I wanted to get rid of it, but I obviously
you put it on something that's gaining interest. What?
Wait, we combined some other loans.
Wait, do you even know this?
Yeah, I know about this.
And what do you think? You thought this was okay? Who decided this? Did you guys group decide this?
No, it was me.
What do you think? What's the interest on that personal loan? Interest rate?
I think it's over 20.
Oh, hell no!
21.
And all 5 of that came from that?
Yeah, it was like leftover, and
That's $5,000. That's at 0%, and you literally traded it for 21%?
base.
What are we doing? What logic was there? There was no logic. There was emotion. You wanted to get rid of this. What?
Yes.
What was the thought? What was even the thought? What was the thinking?
Getting rid of it.
So I have been hearing from many people that get a second job or quit school nursing and get a hospital job. And I'm here to tell you that I'm not doing that. And I'm going to tell you why. I purposely went into school nursing because I knew that bedside wasn't for me. And that is not always the case for anyone that becomes a nurse, because a lot of the times, you have a dream specialty that you want to get into and you want to work at a certain hospital. But for me, I never felt any of those things. Granted, I did want to be a mother, baby, labor, delivery nurse, but at the same time, I wasn't fully passionate about it. And so I knew deep down that I liked school nursing because the school nurse that I met in either middle school or high school was such an opening experience, because I didn't think that there were nurses in the school system, but obviously because if we get hurt, you know, who's going to take care of us? I didn't think that I would go into school nursing this quick because it seemed like all of the people that became school nurses were older people because they were probably tired of the bedside and wanted something more chill. And so school nursing is that avenue. But I want to create that awareness for any new grad nurses or anyone in nursing school right now. You do not have to go into the hospital if you don't want to. There's so many outpatient options for you out there. Again, a lot of people are going to argue that, you know, you are not going to have as much experience. If you want to switch jobs, that experience is not there. It's going to be hard for you to jump around. I get that. So obviously evaluate those things and evaluate your future and what you really want. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm going to stay in school nursing and it's going to be something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And if I do end up switching to somewhere else, then I'll switch to somewhere else. But for now, I am glad that I went into school nursing at a young age. And I'm just so happy to be in the position that I am. And I know, again, with everyone telling me to get a second job hospital, within only I'm going to be able to pay it with my debt within 2 months. But at the same time, my mental health is going to tank. That's the reason why I did school nursing in the first place, so that my mental health is stable somewhat enough so that I can, go to work every day. But if I get that second job and it's in the hospital, I can tell you already that I am going to end up hating nursing and not want to do it anymore. Even the school nursing, I feel like it's going to drain me. So I would rather go through this whole journey of being a school nurse still and doing side jobs that I love so that I can still go about my life, enjoying it and being content with where I am.
I recently went viral for having $30,000 in credit card debt, and it even got picked up by Newsweek. There was an article featuring my credit card debt. And throughout the comments, a lot of people have been recommending different, financial gurus. And of course, people have been recommending Dave Ramsey. So here is why I do not subscribe to Dave Ramsey's snowball effect and his approach in general. So for starters, the entire premise of his plan hinges on having extra money to put towards. So you pay off everything. You pay your bills, you pay all your credit cards, you pay all your debts, and then any extra money you have, stop right there. Who the fuck has extra money? So then he's like, aha, yes, if you don't have extra money, get a second job, get a third job, eat rice and beans. That's actually something I joined a Dave Ramsey private Facebook group. People all the time reference rice and beans. I'm sorry. I'm not willing to do anything to get out of debt. I'm not willing to eat rice and beans every day. I'm not willing to have 3 jobs and not spend time with my children. I'm not willing to forego my favorite salad on a Friday when I feel like getting one. My bills and my debt is so tremendous that $20 here, $100 there is not making an impact. The cost of living and low wages is to blame for the financial woes of most Americans. And being told that we can incrementally make these big differences if we just give up our quality of life for 5-10 years is absurd. I turned my $30,000 in credit card loans into a loan consolidation with an 8% interest rate. We're paying about $1,500 a month to pay that off. And it's painful because every month I'm like, wow, what could we have done with that $1,500? But I am not willing to eat rice and beans. I am not willing to have a night job. My mental health and my quality of life is more important to me than paying off that debt. And that doesn't make me a bad person.